That's what it says. It says, you're live right there. So I guess I'm live and you guys are already here. Are you talking amongst yourselves? I'm not sure if I have this set up properly, but I'm going to do my best. Because where the lens is always messes me up. Welcome to our fall equinox, new moon in Libra, live PNN. At your service to answer your psychic questions about what the heck is going on. We gotta unpack this, people. We gotta unpack it. Let me adjust my camera. All right, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Say your hellos to everybody. I got my crystal ball. I got my cards, and we're gonna dive into some stuff. So, grab a drink. Grab some tea. Grab whatever you need. It's Saturday night. It's a weekend. There's my little bell. It's a weekend. Let's celebrate the weekend. It's been a while since I did it. Since I've done a live PNN. I just wait until the spirit moves me, and the spirit is moving tonight. I don't even know where to begin with what's going on. So let's just say that the fall equinox hit on the 22nd, which was Thursday, and the sun is now in Libra. The new moon tomorrow hits at 5:55 Eastern Time PM, and hang on a second, I can't keep this all in my head. The new moon enters Libra tomorrow at 12:43. Currently, the moon is in Virgo. So, so we should be all, organized tonight. said the Sag, in a silly way. So, we have, we're just coming off last night's fascist hate rally with Donald J. Trump, whom according to Liz Cheney, the other GOP Republicans, she heard them under their breath refer to him as the Orange Jesus, which I thought was brilliant. But, why are they following the Orange Jesus? They could follow the real Jesus if they wanted to. I'm just saying, if they need a Jesus, why don't they just go follow the real one? So that was going on, and during that rally, we were meditating through his entire speech. Just so you know, after the rally ends, after we meditate through the rally, I just delete that video. I don't want that on my channel. I have him on the background just, spewing his vitriol and lies and venom and hatred, because that's exactly what it is. It's an absolute hate rally. One thing we can be glad of is that at least we're aware of what's going on. That's kind of a big deal. We have to count our blessings. We live in a country where we do have real news. We have a lot of fake news, but we do have real news. So let's be grateful and count our blessings. Okay, everybody, just one moment. Everybody take a moment. Count your blessings. We still have democracy. We won't lose it. Or if we're all on board, especially, we won't lose it. So just be grateful that you have what you have, and it can always get better. We're not going to let it get worse. We will be having prayers and intentions during our Church of Spirituality, which we always do, tomorrow, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We go live. I go live. It's my church that I've had since 2020, my online Church of Spirituality. No obligation, no nothing. You don't have to do a thing. I'm not trying to convert you. I'm just doing my best to spiritually uplift people. So please check out Church of Spirituality. The theme for the month of September has been Divine Protection. And the theme for tomorrow, well, you just have to come and see. And that usually posts later in the day if you can't catch us live. I will do my best to watch the chat to see what's going on in the chat. I am using my larger iPad. I am going to just project into our hour or so that we will not lose internet or anything. So here we go. Please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up. My channel's not monetized. What helps me is if you subscribe and hit the thumbs up. Someday I'll figure out memberships and all that kind of thing. But right now, all that I am offering you is absolutely free. If you'd like to book a reading, it's AnnetteDion7@gmail.com, and just let me know you want to book a reading and we'll get you in. I have time, and I've been doing readings for as longer than I want to admit. So just know that it's been a very long time that I've done readings. I've done thousands of readings, and I'm also a spiritual life coach. And the founder of Grassroots of Democracy. So, we'll get to that, and I'll put that on my description. What questions do you have? Oh, thank you, Warren. I love fans. Fans are awesome. See, I get paid just by the nice compliments. We do usually... Awesome. We do usually have, what do they call them? Troll slammers? The wrench people, the wrench wielders? Do we have anybody who wants to volunteer to what do you call them? To slash the trolls? Because that would be great. If you can, that would be awesome. So let's start with, let's see, which deck do we want to use? You know, it's so funny, like all of us that are doing videos, sometimes we just kind of throw it together, and it's, if you could see our table, if you could see the background, it's not that bad, actually. I just have a lot of stuff on my table. I'm looking for my cards. Let's use, we can switch around. We're going to be here for a little while. You want to start with Megan and Harry? Yeah, Texas Paul had a really good one today. I did post it on my community page if you want to take a look at that one, or go to Midas Touch and look up Texas Paul. Texas Paul was really bashing some little kind of dumb little woman who was really bashing him. So, you know, we're fighting back. We're fighting back, you know, we're fighting back with fairness. We're fighting back with love. We're fighting back with kindness and compassion, and that's what we're doing. So Lawrence wants to start with, will Harry and Meghan, will their marriage survive? Let me tell you what I picked up on them before I really read anything as of late. I've been picking up for some time that Harry is very sad and waxing nostalgic and missing his family. And whenever I talk about the royal family in any way, people get like mad at me. So I'm just going to say, because I just pick up that his wife is high maintenance. I'm not saying anything bad about her. A lot of people are high maintenance. It's better to be low maintenance, but if you are, you are, for whatever reason. I feel that Harry is depressed, and I've said that in past readings. And now that his grandmother has passed, that brought up a lot of emotions obviously from the trauma of losing his mother early in life. So I'm not sure if their marriage will survive. We can ask the pendulum. We can send them good vibes, and you know, hope that it all goes well and they work it out. I'm sort of leaning towards like 5 to 7 years. They may be divorced in 5 to 7 years, but let's see what the cards say. So the question is, will Harry and Meghan's marriage survive? I can't believe we're starting with that. I hope you all caught the royal funeral and just the Queen's funeral. And just for perspective, can you believe that the Queen's funeral was less than a week ago? Because there's so much that happens in the news. It's hard to believe that it was less than a week ago. And it was really something to behold. And I do mean to go back and listen to the choir singing and, you know, and all that. So the first question we're starting with, believe it or not, is from Warren. Warren wants to know, will Harry and Meghan's marriage survive? And I have the World card and the Moon card and the Temperance card. So right now they're doing their best to hold things together for the kids. They don't want to each be alone on their own. And it's a very emotional time, like I was just saying. The Moon sometimes indicates a sad feeling. Sometimes it indicates that. I feel like here it's indicating that there's a lot of really sad emotions that Harry's going through right now. And Meghan feels a little more cold, so it might be that she's mad at him or not satisfied. And the World card is they know the world is watching, and that I feel like that they would be on the way to maybe a legal separation right now, but because the world is watching, they don't want to cause a ruckus. They don't want to create a whole lot of drama. There's been enough drama in the royal family as of late with the Queen's passing and Charles and you know, other countries wanting out of being under the, you know, being attached to the monarchy and all that. So it's hard. They're going through a hard time right now. I dropped the card. Hang on. That's pretty classic of me. So it looks like it won't be right away, but because they're going through such difficulty, Harry and Meghan, they know the world is watching, but they're not going to let on. I think these are my crooked glasses. They're not going to let on. Okay, so I keep getting 5 to 7. Like it'll be in 5 to 7 years they'll probably split. I actually, from what I'm seeing and sensing here, I would be surprised if their marriage survives after 7 years. A lot can happen in 7 years. A lot's happened in less than a week. So there's that. I am taking questions, but yeah, I can come up with plenty of questions too. So hang on a second. My battery packs look kind of ugly. Anyway, I can still see them. So, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got for me? Geez, everything's going flying. What about, yeah, I need my glasses that I just dropped. Hang on, I'll be right with you. It's a little, the energy's a little crazy around here. Will McCarthy be re-elected? Is that Warren? Are you asking about McCarthy again? The chat's off. You said Carthy. Do you mean Kevin McCarthy? Like, honestly, Warren, how many times have you asked me that question? I already answered that question. Here's what I want to say about our chances to win the midterms. I don't know if you've been watching me, whoever's asking what's going to happen in the midterms, or what I have been saying repeatedly is the Democrats will win. People are going to come out in droves. People are going to come out in droves, seriously, to vote. It's going to be an amazing voter turnout. And then the Republicans, when Democrats win, are going to turn around, and they're already saying it, and they're planning on this. They will not accept a Democrat winning. So what the Republicans will be doing, so get ready, is they will be fighting a Democrat's win. And they will contest it. They will not concede. They will take it to court. They'll be going through all this litigation. Be prepared, because that's what's going to happen. So like Glenn Kirshner says, we have to vote in numbers too big to rig and too real to steal. And I want to remind everybody that the whole idea of fraudulent elections started with Donald Trump making it up. So everyone take a breath and go, oh yeah, it was never a thing before him. We're going to take a look. Please join Grassroots of Democracy. We just had a really great meeting. And Terry was here. That was a psychic moment. We just had a really great meeting for Grassroots of Democracy. We actually meet twice a week. We meet on Thursday for 1 hour for a discussion group. And then on Saturday we meet for an hour and a half to get some real work done. So please join us. So we have 6 weeks, and we have a lot of work to do. So Grassroots of Democracy at gmail.com. Just send an email, type AYE in the subject line. Aye, that's how they vote in Congress. And if you happen to not receive the Zoom invite, just write again. We're going to take a look at 3 cards about the midterms. I'm using my Just classic Rider-Waite deck right now, which I don't usually use this deck. Okay, and the midterms. Everybody take really good care of yourself prior to the midterms because it's going to be really, really stressful. I'm planning to go away for about 5 days. I'll still be doing videos, but where I will be meditating and praying for our country, in addition to relaxing and enjoying the scenery. It's going to feel like a big burden. The guides are showing me for the midterms, expect lots of delays in the outcome. Remember when in 2020, after the election, when, you know, I'll never forget Trump getting up there in the middle of the night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning saying, frankly, we did win this election. It was really weird and really freaked me out. But anyway, the election actually wasn't decided till, I know the election was on Tuesday in 2020, and then it didn't get decided till the weekend. And I think it was that weekend. So this signifies during the midterms, after all the votes are in, this signifies the waiting to see if the Democrats are staying in power. And the sun is indicative of light being shown on the dark, into the dark corners of the GOP. And then the Knight of Pentacles, that seems to indicate a win for the Democrats. Just be willing to wait. Don't be impatient, be willing to wait. Okay? Be prepared. And join all our groups where we're doing Grassroots of Democracy. We're meditating every Tuesday. Every single Trump rally from this point going forward, hopefully there's not too much more, we will be meditating during the rally. The Judgment card is coming up, which is indicating karma. That what's right and good is what the outcome will be. And I do see these cards are just throwing themselves at me, kind of a journey away from difficulty. So I do sense that we have the numbers of people that are paying attention enough that will get involved. You know how it is, people show up at the last minute. People always show up at the last minute. It's like, if you have a party, do they show up on time? No, they wait until the party's like, you know what I mean? So a lot of people are going to jump in at the last minute to rock the vote. But make sure they know who's who, because I know from my own experience that people vote, not that I did, but a family member that I took to the polls. I said, vote for so-and-so. This is in the local election and the state election. Went in, voted, came back. I said, did you vote for so-and-so? And he said, oh, no, I didn't. Because what was familiar was the name of the person who had been in that state representative seat for the past 6 to 8 years. So I'm just making the point, recognize that people have to be informed about what each candidate is standing for. And if it's a GOP Republican and they just think they have a lovely name, like some people have said, oh yeah, that Ron DeSantis seems like a good guy, they're not paying attention to his fascist lean. We're going to look for a little bit more about the midterms. What else can we expect? We're doing just 3 cards tonight. What else can we expect? Don't miss the blessing in disguise. So, and that kind of feels like it's pointing to don't miss the blessing in disguise that our democracy will be working. Even if it does take going into litigation and all that. Don't miss the blessing in disguise. We have a democracy. The light is shining again on the subject. Notice, like, this has to do with this. The midterm election will reveal what's been going on with the Republicans, how corrupt they have been. The midterms will reveal this. And then we have, there's a victory. I feel a victory in the midterms, but do not go back to sleep. Don't be complacent. Okay, who has a question? I think the chat keeps going off. Let's see. There you all are. So Peggy Reiki Master, are you in Florida? The question is, what will happen? All right, well, during my show with Corey on Wednesday night, somebody asked a question about the hurricanes in Florida and how that's going to go this season, and I think I just was overwhelmed with oh my God, how bad it's going to be. Now, where I live in Massachusetts, I don't know how this happened exactly. The weather patterns are just totally crazy. But Fiona came all the way up, kind of went out to sea, and missed us, although it's been extremely windy. And it just died down, like early evening. Just a little while ago, it just died down. So we got a lot of wind. Nova Scotia got hammered. I mean, houses taken down by the ocean waves, which has happened here in the past. Unbelievable. Nova Scotia, that is so like crazy, like that never happens. What I see for Florida is and this is really going to point a lot of people into the direction of we need our democracy to work. Because Ron DeSantis will not do anything. But Florida is about to get hammered. I'm sorry. We will pray. We will do all that we can to help and send money. But Florida is getting ready to be hammered by hurricanes. The season came a little bit late, but it's arrived. And let's just take a look at the pendulum to ask. I mean, this is global climate change. I mean, the people that think that it's not happening, they must have their heads buried somewhere. Okay, is how many hurricanes will Florida have this hurricane season? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get ready for 7 hurricanes. Yeah, Prince Edward Island. I mean, it's a fishing community. It's like a lot of people in Nova Scotia came to Massachusetts, to where I am, because we share fishing grounds. Yeah, unbelievable. So hopefully Canadians, are on it, and they have good emergency response. I do sense that they do, but it really does work to send. I hate to use the cliche thoughts and prayers, but send thoughts, send prayers, send good intentions. Good intentions that good things happen. So that was 7 hurricanes, and somebody was just asking about the one that's headed your way, which I know it's crazy, but we lose track of which. Okay, Fiona just devastated Puerto Rico and the Dominican and some other islands, and came up the coast and hit Nova Scotia, and the next hurricane is named what? Does anybody know? I don't know why my chat keeps going off. Does anybody know what the name of... Is it Ian? That's what I thought. Okay, we're looking at Hurricane Ian. Thank you, I got it. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I... What happened to H? Did they retire the H name? Hurricane Hugo, maybe? I think that they retire the name if it was just such a horrible experience. Oh, there was an H1, but you know that they do that. Karen's in Canada. So they do retire the names. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hermione. Yeah. It must have been. Now there's a Herma. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm going to have to check with my weatherman. Check the Weather Channel and see what they're saying about it. I'm going to Google that about the hurricanes. Let's see. This is about what Florida is going to go through. Now, Ron DeSantis won't help anybody when Florida is underwater. I don't mean the whole state. When parts of Florida are underwater. Ron DeSantis will do nothing. He will just try to distract. Be ready for that. It doesn't take a psychic. Hermine. What are they making up names now? Hermine. Okay, this is about Florida in hurricane season. It's just what I said. Ron DeSantis will be out to lunch. When Florida is having flooding and massive destruction from the high winds, high intensity, prolonged winds of these hurricanes, Ron DeSantis is going to be MIA. Get ready. Somebody's got the whole list. The whole list of names. You might as well learn them because they're on their way. They are on their way. So Ron DeSantis will do nothing. He will, I don't know, maybe he'll go to Cancun. Maybe he'll go down to Cancun with his friend Ted. It will cause the people of Florida to take a long, hard look at what they want for government. Yeah, that's why I said he's probably gonna, call up Ted and go. Oh, this is too big for me. I'm not the governor in order to govern. I'm the governor to be a fascist dictator. I can't deal with this hurricane stuff. That's Ron DeSantis. Get ready. But it does look like, it's kind of like, okay, it's going to cause people to pull together and, and be grateful for the Democrats. Because Joe Biden is going to make sure that the situation is helped. Just like he's doing in Puerto Rico. Whereas Trump was throwing paper towels to the Puerto Ricans in that huge hurricane, which might have been called Maria. Was that? I think it might have been Maria. Yeah, so if you wonder how Ron DeSantis is going to deal with the hurricanes that are about to pummel Florida, not just Florida, also Louisiana, also Texas. If you wonder how he's going to deal with it, he's not going to deal with it. Okay? Just so you know. He has no plan to save anybody but himself. And he thinks he's going to run for president. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, it's going to make people understand that they don't want Republicans. Well, they're not really Republicans. They don't want fascists in positions of power. So Joe Biden will help. Let's see. DeSantis' approach to the hurricane will be like he might as well be throwing paper towels to the citizens of Florida for how much I see him helping. Yes, God forbid, compassionate, Yeah, it was Maria. I think he went down during after Maria. And you know that Trump only went down to Puerto Rico when they had that huge hurricane just because he had to. I'm sure he would have rather been golfing. Anyway, 3 cards just fell, and it feels like they have an answer to a question. Okay, I'm going to ask the guides. These are 3 cards that just fell, and I feel like it's an answer to a question, and they kind of point into our democracy. So much evidence is going to come out in the very near future. Haven't we had enough evidence? Anyway. The point is, so much evidence is coming out about the criminality in this country. Not to mention, it was like $250 million was stolen of COVID relief funds, including money to go to feed hungry children, and they stole it. They're all Republican, but not in the real sense of the word Republican. It was stolen by Republican leaders. COVID money that was supposed to help people out of a crisis. All this evidence is coming out. Yes, Democrats will be the heroes, absolutely, and I've been saying that for some time. There are so many natural disasters because of global climate change coming, and the Republicans are going to be like flailing in the wind. Oh, was I supposed to help? Oh, is that my job? Oh, I didn't know. I'm not even joking. That's the energy that I feel. These are the arrows of love for democracy. We're bringing it into balance right now. Now, I just want to mention to any of you who don't know that the fascist hate rally in North Carolina last night, there weren't that many people there. There really weren't that. What are you drinking? What are you drinking, Glenn? I missed it. What, the Kool-Aid? There are a lot of people that are I don't know. They're just going to jump on board knowing that it's cool to be a democracy. But the Republicans hate that. I should just call them fascists. And you know what? I'm thinking that maybe we should all, like, get postcards or bumper stickers or whatever at this stage of the game that we're at that say, stop fascism. Stop fascist rule. You know what I'm saying? Is he playing a drinking game? What are you drinking? Well, you can play a drinking game with Sam Adams. Are you having the Oktoberfest brand? Is who going underwater? What? Hang on. I don't know why my chat won't stay on. Mar-a-Lago? You wrote Mar-a-Lago. Eventually, someday Mar-a-Lago will go underwater. It's not anytime soon, but if you're talking about underwater from a financial, using that as a financial sort of reference, yes! Do you mean underwater from the ocean, or do you mean underwater, like from flooding, or underwater financially? Well, we learned about the phone call. I just heard about that. I'm going to switch decks. The call from a rioter on January 6th to the White House. Now, when I first heard that, I really haven't read about it. I just saw the headline. I immediately got that whoever that rioter was, with that call, I don't even know how they found that out. I do have to read about it. I'll read cards about it. The first thought that I had was they were talking to Trump, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, there's no global warming. Somebody's saying, yeah, well, it's like we live in the age of gaslighting. We live in the age of gaslighting. Whoever would have thunk it? We live in the age of gaslighting. Because, 10, 15 years ago, if somebody was telling you something that as plain as the nose on your face you could see was not what was really going on, like you saw it right in front of you 10, 15 years ago, if somebody, this all started with Trump and the crowd size, remember? When Sean Spicer stood up there, I know, it seems like a long time ago, and it's been horrible ever since. When he stood up there and he actually said, he must have felt like such an idiot. The crowd was the inauguration crowd for Trump's inauguration was the biggest inauguration crowd ever. We live in the age of gaslighting. It's unbelievable. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't yet. I'm not monetized. At least hit the thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. So, I'm sorry, I get on a little bit of a rant. The White House to the rioter. Okay, so I felt like it was Trump. I felt like Trump was on the phone. And I did. Let's do the pendulum on that one. What do you think? It's fun hanging out with you guys. I feel like we're just like having a Saturday night party. Was it Trump that was on the phone with the rioter? Yes, yes, yes. My dog is smarter than Biden. You saw that? Where'd you see that? Wait a minute. I don't know why the chat won't stay on. I rant. I'm a ranter. What'd you say about your dog? Hang on. I have to read this. Another person on our street had a sign with "My dog is smarter than Biden." I want to put up a sign with "My rock is." How about dogs are pretty smart? Aren't they? They also have compassion. Most of them. All right, so was Trump on the phone with the rioter? Yes. 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 I don't get that it was for the whole entire phone call. How long was Trump on the phone with the rioter? A minute? 2 minutes? 3 minutes? It looks like Trump was on the phone with that rioter for 2 to 3 minutes, which is a lot of time. There was so much happening. Let us not forget that he sat there and enjoyed what the rioters were doing. Because he planned it. Ginny Thomas, should we go to Ginny Thomas? I don't think I have to read more about that. Who was calling who was talking to the rioter. And it'll be really interesting. I'm getting the sense that when we find out more, we're just going to be like, oh my God, really? Like, it's just going to be so unbelievable that somebody who was in the position of President of the United States would have been on a call to the rioter as the riot was happening. Has anybody heard more about that? Have you heard more about, like, because I feel like that they're going to find out exactly the whole back and forth that was on that call. Oh, sorry. Thank you for reminding me if I lose my train of thought, because it happens, especially when I'm in my psychic brain and I'm doing all this juggling. Hang on. Let's see. I thought that I said it. At the Trump rally, there were 2,500 to 3,000 people, which is less. I know, I heard his super PAC made a total of $40 for the month of August. It's going to be hard for him to be grifting. I wasn't reading about the number of people at the Trump rally last night, but I was saying that it wasn't like 30,000, it was 3,000. Well, you know, Maria, I just want to say about that. We can be grateful for a lot of things, and one is that the January 6th insurrection did not take down our democracy. As much as it's on, like, you know, feeble ground, it didn't take away our democracy. It didn't work. And other countries, I mean, when I say count your blessings, we could be in Russia. Or the Ukraine. Or Ukraine. Or Iran. And we do need to read on those countries. So we want to stay in the positive. What am I answering now? Okay. Well, I have imagined if they succeeded, and honestly, just on that topic, the January 6th insurrection, it defies law, like universal law, like it defies logic that it didn't work. As we're finding out more and more, we should probably look at the January 6th committee hearing this week. It doesn't make logical sense that it didn't work. It doesn't make logical sense that they weren't able to take down our democracy. They had all their bases covered. And as we find out more and more, about a year ago, I kept on saying on my videos, you might remember, what we find out, this is prior January 6th committee and all that, when we find out what happened, it's going to make your hair curl. And if your hair is curly, it's going to make your hair straight. Because I really knew, and you probably knew too, it was going to be, oh my God. The what ifs, what ifs, what ifs, if you think about that too much, it'll make you very scared. But that's what gives me hope and faith, especially faith, is that we made it through that. Okay, shall we look at, yeah, and you know, we have to just be really grateful, and the other thing is, we got a second chance. And I think people kind of lose sight of that. We got a second chance. When we look at Ukraine, you know, look at what they're losing lives, they're dedicated to the fight to have a sovereign nation, to save their democracy. You know, we got a second chance. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone you know, get out and vote for Democrats. Blue all the way down the ballot. It doesn't matter. We need to live. We need to live. Really important. And if anybody wants the letter that I wrote today during our meeting, send me an email, netdion7@gmail.com. I wrote a letter in which I listed all the promises that the GOP Republicans, the fascist Republicans, have made. They're heinous. They want to impeach Joe Biden. They're planning to impeach Joe Biden. And that's only one item on the list. They're planning to have a federal abortion ban, federal law. They're planning to take away Social Security. They're planning to take away Medicare and Medicaid. They're planning to cancel out all the global climate change initiatives to save our planet. They're planning for all fossil fuel burning. They're planning to ban books. They're planning to take away contraception. And like I already mentioned, the federal abortion ban. They're planning to take away same-sex marriage rights. The list goes on. And I'm pulling cards without even really realizing it. Oh, how about that interview with Sean Hannity? I'm pulling cards. So I guess I'm pulling cards about the Republicans and what's going to happen to them. I mean, what they're proposing is not is really nothing. There's nothing good. Yeah, it's the Taliban. It's the Taliban, and they're proposing. This isn't in the plan that the so-called plan that they were presenting to the public yesterday. But or maybe it was. They're actually touting Christian nationalism. So when we look at what's going on in Iran with the morality police, who just decided that women should have these hijabs on their head all the time, and just that poor woman who died when she was in prison, the 22-year-old woman who died when they took her in captivity, and then that's how the riots broke out. That wasn't about the scarf. That was about misogyny. Let's be honest. That was violent, misogynistic, and unthinkable. Honestly. Anyway, so I'm reading right now on the Republicans. They have really painted themselves into a corner. They really have. And it's mostly because of the abortion ban. And they are trying to detract from that. They are trying to go, oh, don't look at that, look over here. But they've got nothing, they have nothing that's appealing to sell. What's wrong with people? I don't know, Damon, you tell me. I guess we can look at that. A big, giant part of the problem is lack of education. Huge part of the problem, lack of education. A willingness, I mean, it's interesting because it's a willingness to not look into things. It's a willingness to turn the other way. It's a willingness to just act on their, already in their emotions, negative emotions, and, it's a lot of things. But anyway, here's the Republicans. They've painted themselves into a corner. It's the women's issue that's going to rise above the GOP. And I actually see a new direction. Is that what I'm seeing? I mean, what I'm seeing is the Republican Party going in a new direction. So what I'm picking up on more is kind of like if, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but kind of like if Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger decided to start a different branch of the Republican Party. I'm sort of sensing, not that it's going to happen right away, but a movement towards that kind of thing. All right, let's see. Republicans. Will there be a brand new type of Republican Party? No, I don't think it's going to be called the Republican Party. Will there be a new party in the United States to replace the old, decrepit, corrupt? It looks like there'll be a new party in the United States. I'm not saying right away. But because the Republican Party has pretty much crashed and burned, and all that we have left is the dregs and the embers, there's going to be some kind of a new party. Will it be called the Republican Party? No, it will not be called the Republican Party. Will it have a new name? Will it have a brand new name and identity? Okay, so there's a new. Okay, what time frame? 2 years? No. In about 3 years. In about 3 years, it looks like we're going to see emerging a new party that's not a Republican party, but it's like something to replace the fascists. The Lincoln Party? Maybe. I mean, they're supposed to be the party of Lincoln, but I could see that. I don't know if anybody was proposing that. Have we heard anything about that? I don't know if it's a conservative party. It just feels like a new party. They don't call it Republican, but it's like a place for the Republicans to go. You know, the old-fashioned Republicans. Is it a name that hasn't been thought of? It's not a name that hasn't been thought of. Maybe it is the Lincoln Party. Let's ask that. Will it be called the Lincoln Party? Nope. Nope. So, okay. Yeah, I'm not picking that up. I'm not picking up that the transmutation of the Republican Party, you know, away from fascism. Because there are a lot of really strong Republicans in this country that aren't associated with, like, they want nothing to do with Trump. So that's what I feel like. There's a different party that will emerge in about 3 years. No, not the Confederate Party. What are you talking about? Do we have a troll alert? Who do we have? Hang on. How come I have no wrench people? Well, I was about to block you. I really was. I was about to block you. Well, it's Jenny. I know, but why are you saying those like crazy things? Don't make yourself look like a troll if you're not trolling. Okay, so where are we? Oh, let's look at Sidney Powell. Well, there's joking, and then there's like, and you know, poking. There's joking and there's poking. We have a sense of humor around here. Don't think that we don't. Everybody on my channel, and I'm grateful for this, has a sense of humor. Just watch our show on Bridge Cape Ann. Oh my goodness, do we laugh? Do we laugh? Can I get a witness? I don't even remember what you said, Anastasia. Keep it positive. Hang on a second. All right, we're gonna look at we're gonna look at Sidney Powell, the Kraken. The Kraken chickened out. The Kraken chickened out. We're going to Sidney Powell. Michael and his chakra. Okay, I'm going to focus. The Kraken chickened out. So what happened with her? Okay. This is what I'm going to ask the pendulum. Did Sidney Powell... Oh, that's an interesting question, Amy. Did Sidney Powell leave the country? She didn't leave the country. Quite simply, did Sidney Powell chicken out? Did Sidney Powell chicken out? Yes, she chickened out. Let's see what's going to happen to her, shall we? Did Sidney Powell chicken out? Well, we got a yes that she chickened out. Let's look at what's going to happen. What's a bench warrant? I don't know what a bench warrant is. I don't know. So many legal terms. Remember when we didn't know, unless you were a lawyer or you studied law, remember when we didn't know anything about legal terms? Now we know everything. Sidney Powell's not doing so well health-wise. I get that Sidney Powell is not well health-wise. I'm not sure if I'm referring to mental health or physical health. Is Sidney Powell having actual physical health problems? She's having physical health problems. Yep. And let me see. Is Sidney Powell having mental health problems? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. The Sidney Powell is having... Thank you, Roberta. Sidney Powell is... Oh, big time. She's having... She's not feeling well physically, and she's having massive mental health problems. Wow, you guys are in the know. Order to police to detain. Do you know more about that? Glennie, you just making that up. Okay. Okay, Warren's got the info here. A bench warrant is a warrant issued by a judge to arrest her for failure to appear. Is that what she got? Is that what happened? The marshal, yeah, okay, so let's take a look at, is Trump going to stroke out because he looks red instead of orange? What do you mean? You think he's going to have a stroke? Okay, Sidney Powell. Is she going to be arrested? I guess that's a pendulum question. Is Sidney Powell going to be arrested? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a yes. I hope she's getting ready for that because that's a big yes. Sidney Powell is going to get arrested, so we're just going to look at a little bit more about that. Oh, Sidney, she's not well. She's mentally not well. She has mental health issues. I mean, that doesn't justify her heinous behavior, of course not. But she's struggling. This is Sidney Powell. She's definitely lost and alone. Hermit card. Because, lo and behold, justice is coming. This is about Sidney Powell. She's on her own. She's got no defense. Remember, Dominion Voting Machines Company is suing her for billions. And actually, this is a step in the right direction for America. I have seen and I've noticed energetically, I really do feel it's almost like the justice system is hitting its stride. Hallelujah! You know what I'm saying? The justice system is starting to hit its stride. And you know what? Just for some perspective on that, Letitia James, you know, Alvin Bragg was not going to go after Trump. He was just like, oh, well, I don't know. It wasn't that bad. I don't think I want to do anything. Seriously. Don't even get me started about Bragg. But what happened? As soon as Letitia James moved forward and went for it, and bravo to her, Bragg's like, well, maybe. Will Sidney Powell be disbarred? I think my sense is she's already disbarred. Isn't she? Is she already? Is Sidney Powell? Is she already? Yeah, she's already disbarred. I don't know that factually, but I definitely sense that. Giuliani's disbarred, right? Or he lost his license to practice in New York, at least. I'm talking about Sidney Powell, and I see the female divine, and I'm like, no. You're talking about something else. Somebody was asking about Ginny Thomas. She's already. I got that she's already disbarred. The pendulum said she's already disbarred. Okay, so Ginny Thomas. We have so much to look at. You know, and Bon Blue is mentioning it's so sad to see people's lives just fall apart. But if you, Dead Man Rigged a Machine, if you listen to Michael Cohen, and others have said this too, but Michael Cohen knows. It was him, and there was somebody else that was saying this too. That when Donald Trump gets you to work for him, especially, you know, in law and legal situations, which his whole life has been in litigation, when he gets you to work for him, your life is over. Your life is over. And he doesn't care. That's the way that family works. And somebody was pointing to, it's all in Mary Trump's book, how that family operates. They just take people down. We're going to Ginny Thomas, unless you have another question about Sidney Powell. I don't see it, so we'll get to it. I have no idea why the chat won't keep going. But that's probably better. I mean, I can see it, but I have to keep tapping my screen. Oh, Letitia. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. We'll come back to Letitia. I'm going to look at Ginny Thomas. Okay? I'm going to have to pick and choose the questions. It's Ginny, Ginny. Like ginger, as in ginger, not Jennifer. I never got that she's going to jail. Bill guy Mike Lindell is also a bit awful. That's the understatement of the year. Slightly. Mike Lindell is not well. Mike Lindell is not well. Okay, this is about Ginny Thomas. You know what the cards are saying? She's going to admit her wrongdoing. It feels like she's going to admit to what she did. Because there's so much evidence. The Nine of Pentacles, yes, it looks like if you put it like that, she cut a deal. It looks like it, but it looks like it's not behind the scenes. It looks like, is she going to give up the goods on Trump? Oh my goodness. It looks like she does get questioned. This is about Ginny Thomas. She does get questioned. She does actually tell the story in order to get in less trouble. Like a plea deal kind of a thing. I'm not saying it's a plea deal, but like that kind of, there's that kind of energy. Is Ginny Thomas going to jail? No, absolutely not. She's going to admit the truth. She's going to tell what she knows. Ginny Thomas was in a cult, and I think it was in the early 90s. Cults were really big back then. And she's susceptible to cult mind. And people that are really susceptible to cult mind control are, you know, it's almost like she's a little child in her head. I really do feel like Ginny Thomas, in her head, she's about 10 years old. She hasn't kind of evolved out of that. Oh, we'll look at Alex Jones. If I forget, just post it again, because there's so much to read on. I feel like she... Damon, that's terrible! Yes, that's what I'm saying. She's a little off, because there are people that are susceptible to cult mind control, and she was legit in this delusional thing in her mind. I'm not justifying her behavior, but she really legit thought she was doing the right thing, because she's not right in the head. And I feel like she and Clarence live in kind of like this make-believe world where they're king and queen, and they probably were king and queen in a past life. Doesn't it make sense? Is it Virginia? I thought it was Ginger. Are Ginny and Clarence in a delusional reality? Absolutely. Were they king and queen in a past life? Were Ginny and Clarence king and queen in a past life. It's going to yes. Yeah, interesting. But I pick up that they're both deluded. Does Mike Pillow need some mental health? Well, that's not even a question, that he needs mental health care. Yeah, I'm seeing that Ginny Thomas has mental health issues, as does Clarence. I'm seeing that they really live in a bubble. It's so interesting. And I guess that they could. I mean, he's like, how often does he have to show up for his Supreme Court, decisions? They are in a delusional world. Well, there are all kinds of mental health issues, and what we call normal is like, who the heck knows what normal is? I mean, normal is that you're able to function as a human being with the ability to use your mind to for deductive reasoning thinking, and you have good cognitive function, and you have empathy, and you're kind of like, I don't know if you'd call that normal. I guess that's the norm. Is somebody who's reasonably reasonable. You know what I mean? Is making sense? But they are, I just really feel like they live in a bubble, and they're kind of in a delusional world. Okay, now I'm getting a backlog of questions here. I think there was one I was going to answer before that. Let me take a look, because there were some really current ones. Will Kavanaugh resign? Oh my gosh, be grateful. There's a lot of cult groups that use it. And I really want to encourage everyone to read Stephen Hassan's work. Hassan. He's a cult expert because he was in a cult. And he wrote a book called The Cult of Trump. Because I think yeah, so Damon, I'm just talking about, the living in a bubble thing. It's just, I'm picking that up. I'm just so kind of intrigued because I pick up psychically, energetically, what that feels like and looks like. The thing about a cult is it's insidious. I mean, they get, and that's what the right-wing extremist faction of the government, I hate that I'm saying that in a democracy, that's what they're doing, that's what they're banking on. Turning Point America, the extremist right-wing group that's extremely racist too, is Turning Point's going on to college campuses. I attended Ruth Ben Giat's Zoom meeting. Yeah, she wrote a book called Strong Men about fascists, and she made us aware in this group meeting that Turning Point, I mean, these right-wing organizations that are extremist are going on to college campuses. Classic cult recruiting move. Because you get people that are in college, like college-age kids they're just venturing out into the world, and there's not a lot of a sense of, I don't know, they haven't really developed a strong sense of self or where they belong. So these cults come in and they get them in this sort of vulnerable state, and they make them get into this tribal consciousness, and then it's rah, 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 we want to take over the world with Christian nationalism. This is really happening. They do completely change. I'm so sorry that happened to you. They do completely change. Her husband was in a cult, if you didn't see that, and punched her. It's really amazing. It's really amazing how much minds can be controlled. It's worse than the credit card companies on campus. It's way worse. But that's when, I have a family member who was recruited when she was in college. That's how I know so much about cults. Fortunately, that particular cult fell apart. But I got an education on what cults do They find people that are susceptible and vulnerable because they're in a time in their lives when they're questioning. You know what I mean? Oh, it was Alex Jones. Yeah. Alex Jones he's a psychopath. I'm live twice? You mean 2 days in a row, or that I have another? I don't think I have another thing going. What do you mean? I can only be live once. I thought that was a troll. Just, I have the replay. Alright, as long as I'm not on twice. Don't confuse me, I'm trying to keep track of everything. Alex Jones. He is a psychopath. Oh, my old one popped up. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Alex Jones, what's going to be his fate? I mean, he has a murderer mentality. That's a brain that's wired differently. If you think about Alex Jones, that's a brain that's wired differently. Oh, I see what you're saying. Corey's replaying Wednesday night. Oh well, you can watch that anytime. It was recorded on Wednesday night. That's a fun one. It's a long one. Alex Jones. His brain is wired so that there's a certain part of the brain that runs compassion. I don't know. I'm not a brain surgeon, but happy birthday, Karen. I just saw that up there. Happy birthday, Karen Dean. Happy Libra birthday. Powerful time. Write your goal list. So Alex Jones, we should all write goal lists, but especially if your birthday falls on a new moon. The new moon's always in the sign that you're in. Definitely, it's a powerful birthday. Make sure you meditate. Alex Jones, the law is going to come after him because they can't understand why somebody could be that evil, but they know one thing for sure. They're deliberating. It looks like this is Alex Jones, it looks like he's really feeling like he's right. He's really feeling like he's right. That is sick. So he's ruled by Satan. I mean that, seriously. He is a satanic being. Alex Jones is a satanic being. Aren't you glad you showed up, Karen? You get all these happy birthdays. Thanks for spending time with us on your birthday. He's a legend in his own mind. Alex Jones is a legend in his own mind. He is so about the InfoWars thing and his followers, which really makes you stop and think. It's really horrible that many people would follow such a horrible human. We have a lot of work to do. Light workers, we have a lot of work to do. Oh, you're waiting on cake? What kind of cake are you having? Yes. If you want to know what evil looks like, you can watch from the beginning. If you want to know what evil looks like, Donald J. Trump and Alex Jones. And of course, Vladimir Putin. And just as a side note, for some reason, and I think that the guides are getting me to, I don't know, let me digress for a second. For some reason, I click on MSNBC on my iPad throughout the day, and it doesn't go on right away. I actually have to kind of reboot before it actually goes on. So during that process, this picture of Vladimir Putin keeps coming up. And I'm looking at it going, why does this keep coming up? I don't understand. And I almost feel like the guides want us to send energy to him that destroys his power. Seriously. Speaking of evil. Mercury is retrograde. That's true. I'm doing alright for a Mercury retrograde. And I heard that there's 6 other planets retrograde too. Does anybody... We have any astrologers in the house? Give us the lowdown. So Alex Jones really feels like he's not going to give up his kingdom of evil demons. A kingdom of evil demons. That's Alex Jones. You have to be a horrible, horrible... I mean, that's just not even human. What he's done to those parents that lost their little babies. Not even human. Beyond comprehension. Alright, who did I promise I would answer? I think I promised to answer another question. Alex looks confused on the stand. Yeah, because he thinks he's king, and he's like, how can you do this to the king? 20 on Tuesdays. It's not really prayer as much as it's meditation. So if you want to join us for the meditation where we're visualizing healing in America, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Send me an email. Put 20 in the subject line. AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Put 20 in the subject line. We have a pretty good group. We have like 40 people now that are meditating for 20 minutes on healing America. Oh, okay. I didn't coordinate with Corey. This is, you know how I do. It's like last minute. Oh, I think I'll do a video. Should we switch topics entirely and go to something about That's funny. Well, you can watch that thing with Corey anytime. That was really long. Why are there... This is what I heard, purportedly. There are spaceships over Ukraine. Frequently. Do we want to look at that? I saw pictures. I'm taking a vote. Do we want to look at that there are spaceships over Ukraine? Yes, yes, yes. I didn't hear that North Korea shot a ballistic missile. Okay, we'll look at that first. Okay, so Damon saw the pictures. So we've been seeing pictures of spaceships over Ukraine. Now, Peggy, I'm with ya. Talk about something good. We will. And actually what this does is I feel like, it gives us perspective and it gives us something to focus on to send more energy to. Okay, so I always say about the UFOs that they have been here. They've always been here. And that they're in a different vibrational frequency. And so that's why we don't see them. Just like we don't see ghosts. Like where I am right now, there's a ghost in the building. This is an old building. It's built over probably late 1800s. And I know that there's a ghost here, but I've told my subconscious, my psychic brain, I prefer not to see ghosts and I prefer not to see ETs. Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Chiron, retrograde. That's a lot. So for the UFOs to have sort of penetrated through the veil and to be showing themselves over Ukraine, this is what I get. You better not. You better not do that. Now, there are some psychics, there's some schools of thought that say, and you may have heard me say this with Corey, that they're protecting us. I don't get that. Yeah, ghosts are real, but I don't want to see them. I know I would be able to if I told my brain to see them. I don't subscribe to the theory that the aliens are here to help us. I more subscribe to my theory that they see what's happening. And there's let's pick 3 cards and we'll elaborate. If you just joined us, we're reading on the UFOs that have been spotted over Ukraine. A lot of them. But they are already here. Well, they might be influencing some things, but this whole theory that They're here to protect us. I don't get that. Our guides and angels are here to protect us. And now we're, all right, you know, we can believe whatever we want to believe. Nobody's right or wrong. Okay, so I see a different conversation going on. It's about the aliens. This is interesting. I mean, this is what I get about the UFOs over Ukraine. They're somehow energetically manipulating things. There's a level of awareness in the ETs, you know, there's a level of awareness there. I get a sense that they have been here for thousands upon thousands of years. So the UFOs over Ukraine, I actually feel a sense of they're manipulating the energy. And they're manipulating the energy. They seeded us. Well, yeah, there's a lot of evidence about that. No, I'm not okay, let me explain. When I tune into this energy, I never get, oh, those poor humans, we have to help them because they're just like children and they need us to help. Oh, so we'll be like the benevolent, protective aliens. No, the angels do that. I'm picking up that the aliens that are being seen over Ukraine are fixing the energy in a particular way. Now, understand, I say this to people all the time, especially if you get a reading from me. I will tell you, I don't know what I'm talking about in terms of what I mean by that is the information's coming in and I'm just giving it to you. That's what I feel. I feel like it's a physics kind of a thing. Manipulating the energy kind of a thing. I do feel like they're observing. And I don't really feel like they're worried, oh, those poor humans. In other words, I don't feel like they're going, we need to save the humans, we need to save. It's not like that. They don't. Containing us, yeah, in this sense, I'm getting more like changing the energy. Like alchemists, like energy alchemists. So look it up. You can probably right now Google it if you're in front of your computer. You probably are because you're here, right? That's what I get about the aliens. They're actually manipulating the energy in a certain way. So I'm going to look at that. Well, yeah, okay, so let me put it this way. If it is that they're keeping the earth safe, they're not, yes, exactly, Jamie, they're not concerned about us. In a nutshell, they don't care about us. They're observing the planet. They're not going to try to save us. They're not protecting us. All right, I'm not making you believe anything. This is just my opinion. CM, you're more saying along the lines of what I'm feeling. Okay, let's go to another question because I'm tempted to go down a rabbit hole and we need another question. I know there was so much to read about. We haven't read about how Trump is doing. Can you believe it? We haven't read that yet. And I'll read about that again because I am around the ET situation. I'm getting a lot. There's a lot going on there. A lot. Okay. How is the big orange Cheeto doing? Just so you know, Randy, I don't really answer questions about real estate or inflation or gas prices or... I just don't. And just really frankly, it's just not that interesting to me. That's all. It goes up and it goes down. Changes. We are finally 79 minutes in, going on 80, and I haven't asked how Donald Trump is doing. So let's go there, shall we? Let's do a deep dive into the abyss, the pit of slime. There we are. Ready? Ready? Melania cannot stand him. And she's really sorry that she was so, I don't know, naive. Oh my God, Blue Moon. Trump is coming. Yeah, we are, just so you know, we are doing, oh, Ellen John was performing at the White House. Where was I? I can't believe I missed that. We're doing a meditation for every rally that Trump has from this point forward. Hopefully it's not going to be too many more. We are doing a meditation. So keep your eye on my channel, because we're doing a white light guided meditation. Believe me, my voice was scratchy by the end of it last night because he wouldn't shut up. And I'm bound and determined to be doing light meditations to transform the energy of those rallies to the best of our ability. So that's going to be happening on October 1st, which is next Saturday. If you can believe it, it's next Saturday. So we're seeing how he's doing. He was on after the meditation on PBS. Man, what did he sing? What was the occasion? We'll get to it. Donald Trump is feeling poor. He knows he's out of money. And he knows there's no place else he can go. He can't. Yeah, but Glenn, they don't really care about us. We're not going to get off this topic, I can tell. Oh, they had a mic mishap? When we were meditating, when Trump was doing the rally, we were sending all this white light onto the stage to kind of mess things up. No harm done. No harm done. White light for the good of all. It's alright, Glenn, I'm just saying. I have a strong opinion about the alien thing. I just feel like, especially, that we can't go around thinking the aliens are protecting us. They don't care about us. Get some money from Jared. I think Jared would say no, because Trump has asked Jared for money. Honestly. And Blue Moon, that's definitely a good point to make. Get your voter registration. Check your registration, because they've changed a whole lot, those dark Republicans. Yes, he's asked Jared for money. Of course Trump asked Jared for money. It doesn't take a psychic. Oh, Ellen John was invited by the Bidens for a humanitarian award. That's so sweet. I want one. I want one of those. Okay, so I didn't finish. So Trump is feeling very, very poor. Here on your back patio, nice. It just warmed up here. It was really cold the past couple of days. But it warmed up a little. I can tell because my office is finally warm. Plus I'm doing readings, which, see, I'm getting all flushed. Alright, this is interesting. Okay, Trump is completely, he's broke. He's going to start using the properties that he has as, not collateral, because he can't, it feels like collateral. Huh. He's doing what he can. He's on the phone. Trump is always on the phone. Whenever I tune into him, he's always on the phone. No, they're not here to harm us. The ETs aren't here to harm us. They're just, they have no vested interest. And they're not like compassionate. They don't have that. They're just like, they manipulate energy. There's going to be a little bit of a financial, I don't want to say a break. He's going to get a little more to tie him over financially. Trump is figuring that out right now. But it looks like it's just a loan, and it doesn't look like it's from a bank. It's more like It's more like, let me borrow this money, and if I don't pay it back, you can have this building, or you can have this real estate, or you can have this golf course. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like he's going to borrow money like that. Not through a bank, but like through agreements. I need this amount of money, and if I don't pay it back, I'll give you this building. That's what I don't know what you call that. So that's what's going on. Mar-a-Lago yard sale. Yeah, kind of like that. You guys are joking and I missed it. The bird? Was there a bird that... Oh, okay. So there was a mic issue at the rally last night? I guess maybe a bird flew in or something. His skin is changing to red instead of orange. Will he have a stroke? That's a good question. Is Trump, like they say in the South, is he fixing to have a stroke? That's what they say in the South. I lived there for a while, but I'm from here, from Massachusetts. Is Trump fixing to have a stroke? Not a stroke. All I mean are the circumstances to crap on his head. I'm only just reading his energy on the physical level. It doesn't look like he's fixing to have a stroke. Is Trump, we're just curious about his health. Is he fixing to have a heart attack? That's a yes. It's more likely that he's susceptible to a heart attack than a stroke. Are the conditions such that a heart attack could happen in the near future? Well, it's kind of going around in a circle, kind of like depends on whether he takes care of himself, but it's looking like yes. He's fixing for his comeuppance. Yeah, I'm going to pull a few cards about that, because we are curious about his health, because we want to know how long he can keep this dog and pony show up. Which, if you ask me, with the amount of stress that he's under, I mean, I get real Clarence Thomas energy in the sense that they're both in a delusional world in their heads. So it really boggles my brain that Trump can keep his energy up the way that he can. We know he does speed, right? We know he does speed. But even then, doing speed, you're going to crash, right? You guys have any experience with that kind of thing? Doing speed, you're going to crash. So we're actually pulling 3 cards asking about... Yeah, I think the stress would cause his heart issue. I definitely get that. Yeah. He's already lost his mind. If you hear him at those rallies, he's lost his mind. Does he have TIAs? Am I just out of the loop here? Yeah, but after a while, you'd crash if you were doing that all the time. He looks terrible. We're reading on Donald Trump's health. Diet Coke attack. That stuff is so bad for you. And you look at people that take good care of themselves, that don't live under a lot of stressful conditions, and that are, you look at people that are in fairly good condition and really look after their health. They get cancer, and then you look at somebody like Trump and you're like, why? How does he do it on a junk food diet, really obese? It's adrenaline. I think it's just adrenaline and positive thinking. It's being looked at. His health is being looked at. The Wheel of Fortune here doesn't mean fortune. It means he's going to have a change in his fortune. That's literal, a change in his fortune, like a change in his money. And it's also a change in his health status. And the Empress is the United States. It's the stress that he's under. This is really strong. The stress that he's under. It's Donald Trump versus the United States of America. That's what the legal papers, the law on the top. This is Donald Trump versus the United States of America. And that's what these cards are saying. His health is being looked at. I feel like doctors are telling him he's going to have to take it easy. Because stress is a killer. Let's be honest. Let's be real. Stress is a killer. The number one thing to do for good health is to reduce the stress in your life however you can. He's definitely not doing that. And that's a turn for the worst. A turn of his fortune for the worst. And this is the Empress representing the United States. It's the pressure that he's under, because it's Donald Trump versus the United States, that is going to take a wicked toll on his health. Crushed Adderall. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're into that stuff. Most people like to do mind-altering substances to relax, right? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Stochastic narcissistic breakdown. Really? I'm going to look that up. That is a new word. Stochastic. CM. Check out what CM is writing in the chat. Stochastic narcissistic breakdown. I definitely am going to look that up. Adderall is a stimulant that they use for, of all things, ADD. I've never been able to understand that, but I guess it helps people to focus, to be hyper alert. So stochastic refers to kind of like perpetrating like rhetoric that's violent. Stochastic terrorism is, if you look it up, it's a new word for me. I like words. It's really, I'm going to look up Tom Hartman. Yeah. It's really awful. It's awful. It's like, it's like violence and fascism and extremism and terrorism all wrapped up in one. It's not good. All right. Let's see. Terry G wants to know how Brittany Griner is holding up. It's really hard for me to look at that. When I've read on it before, I saw January, and hopefully it's sooner. I'm very concerned about Brittany Griner. It's just, in the matter that Putin gets, we have to just pray a lot. Or if you don't pray per se, send positive energy, visualize this country doing better. Visualize Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan coming home. Visualize the Russian people, in an all-out coup to take down Putin, or however he needs to come down. But we really do need to do what we can. So I got that Brittany Griner, I got that something would shift by January in terms of her coming back to the States. So let's hope it's sooner. It makes you focus. Adderall makes you focus. People that are diagnosed with, which is overdiagnosed with ADD or ADHD, it's way overdiagnosed because, the pharmaceutical companies get huge money from these drugs. Don't take drugs so readily because you're just feeding them. There's no need for all those drugs. But what it does is it's a stimulant, and it's like having a cup of coffee. It's like the difference between feeling sluggish mentally, but it's like having a cup of coffee times 100. So the reason people like coffee or caffeinated things is because you can go from, I don't feel like doing anything, to let's get to it, you know what I mean? Totally different. So stochastic, we're learning something tonight. Stochastic, it's a hard thing to say. Stochastic narcissistic breakdown when they are challenged, not the center of attention, rejected and exposed, just to name a few. Yeah, so what's the breakdown? What's the break? This program is so educational. Where the outcome involves some randomness and, I would say 100%. And Diet Coke too. So it's like being on speed and drinking espresso. I feel like I kind of got lost. Where are we? Yeah, people with ADD are wired differently, but I'm just, There's a lot of cases where it's not ADD. But they can sell some drugs. Oops. Do we want to go to Russia? I answered that. It's hard for me to look at what's going on with Brittany Griner. All I can do is pray, because it's not easy. It's not good. Is that also Putin? I would say yeah. Yeah, the stochastic, that definition is totally Trump and totally Putin. You may have heard me say it, I've said it many times for months now, I feel like Russia is going to, the Russian people are going to revolt and rebel and fight back. And they're going to take down Putin. So, because I've been saying that for a long time now. Since he invaded Ukraine, which I literally went off my channel for 6 weeks when Putin invaded Ukraine. I was absolutely horrified, and I knew that I couldn't read on it. And I kind of didn't know what to do, so I exited for like 6 weeks, and I didn't have many subscribers at the time, and I lost a lot. But, the guides told me, hands off. I think they're going to overthrow him. Let's take a look at that while we're on the topic. What's going to happen to Putin? Yeah, Biden would ban assault weapons. If the Republicans get in, they'll make sure that we all have assault weapons. I don't want one. They'll probably be encouraging it. They might require it. But we're reading on Putin right now, on Russia. Yeah, in Australia, it should be that way. Yeah, it should be very, very, very screened, very restricted, ADHD. Only under specific, dire circumstances. This is about Putin. This is Putin. I think the ETs are manipulating the energy around Ukraine, particularly like when you're talking about the nuclear power plant. Yeah. They might be neutralizing the radiation. They don't want the planet to be gone. It's not about us. It's alright. You're apologizing for getting off topic? Listen to me. I'd be apologizing through the whole video. This is Putin. Okay, so any readers out there, you want to tell me what you think this means? This is Vladimir Putin. I was watching him when he last spoke, which is how his image got stuck on my MSNBC screen on my iPad and on my phone. It's like the universe wants me to look at him. I don't want to look at his ugly face. But I did watch the last time that Putin spoke. Those poor Russian people. And he's really angry. But what I saw was his whole entire body was engulfed in a paranoid, massive fear. Massive paranoid fear. He's insane. And I know, I know the Russian people are going to take Russia back. And I had said that I see Russia becoming a democracy. Time frame, not sure. But the world, the consciousness of the world is going to take his power away. I'm serious. And the Nine of Pentacles. This looks like the Russian people they're getting momentum. There's a lot of areas where his parents are coming after him. There's a lot of areas. Is that what the dolphin said? The earth is not just for humans? Yeah, that's for sure. Hunkering in the bunker. He's got a lot of fear. A lot of fear. Really. The Nine of Pentacles. This is like the tipping point with the Russian people. I mean, it's going to be a really big struggle. It's like all the people pushing a boulder of energy. That's a ginormous, mountainous boulder of energy. But they're going to do it. They're going to do it. Are the Russian people going to overthrow Putin? Is it them, the actual Russian citizens? Yep. Keep praying. Keep praying. I mean, when it gets to a point, it could be your brother, it could be your cousin, it could be your uncle, it could be your son. They're being pulled out of the classroom, given 1 hour to prepare to go from a classroom, being in school, to go into war. When it gets to that point, it's really... Oh, you're so sweet, Maiden Tarot. Thank you. It is really... That's too far. That's too far. And let's take a look too at what's going to happen in Iran. I see the regime crumbling. It's going to be a while. Let's go to Iran. We're getting into the darkness now. Iran. Now, I just want to reiterate that them, letting that 22-year-old woman die that they took into captivity because she was wearing her scarf wrong. It wasn't about the clothes. It was about murderous misogyny. Yeah, and that's what's going to do it. The mothers and the sisters and the wives, I didn't even say the wives, having to send their loved one to their death, is not going to end well. This is about Iran. Yeah, see, this is about Iran. This is about what they're going through in Iran. But look at the victor. The women will emerge victorious eventually. But this is massive. There's going to be a lot of death in Iran. These are reasons for us energetically to contribute to the collective energy. These are reasons for us to defend democracy. Because when we're defending democracy from an energetic standpoint, like what the Ukrainians are doing, from an energy standpoint, that is huge. And that's why we need to support Ukraine. Well, many practical, logical reasons too. But I'm going for the energy. We have to defend women. We have to defend democracies. Because when we do it here, we're all connected. The collective effect of that is that the women of Iran eventually are liberated. It's going to take a while. Maybe we can speed it up. But this is like, we're seeing going from we just have to take it, we just have to take it, we just have to take it. It's a tipping point. We're seeing a tipping point all over the planet. It's amazing. Women are rising up. This is the time for women. This really, really is. All right, so we are going on, winding down. Yeah, the United States, we're getting ours. We're getting our Pluto return. There were a lot of things the United States got really, really, really wrong. So collectively, even though we weren't individually a part of it, collectively, we all have to be on board with changing the energy. For the good. For the healing. For the good. Okay, I'm going to answer a few more questions before I get ready to go. You all know I have Church of Spirituality tomorrow, so I want to, make some plans. Doesn't take long, and it's a labor of love. So please come tomorrow to Church of Spirituality. Every single Sunday, live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please hit the thumbs up. I'm not leaving yet. I'm just kind of winding down. Let's answer a few more questions. It's been a fun party. Okay. Yeah, women and men are rising up against the tyrant. So the parallel is, it's the women and the men that will rise up in the United States against the tyranny of the fascist GOP. I'm telling you, get a big bumper sticker. You get some bumper stickers made that say "Stop Fascism." Okay, what else? What else? Oh, Matt Gaetz, I already read on that. This is a glitch, and he's still in trouble. And he's in trouble. Matt Gaetz is in trouble because he was looking for a blanket pardon. What a dummy. He's a demon too. He's a dummy demon, Matt Gaetz. Italy. We have to pray for Italy. There's a female fascist. When is their election? Do you know? So I mentioned the name Ruth Ben Giat. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, but her last name is hyphenated. Ruth Ben hyphen Ghiat. She did write an article about what's going on in Italy. I don't know where it is. You have to look it up. Let's read about Italy first, because right now Italy is facing a potential second rise of Mussolini. And we know what happened to him. And Trump was Mussolini in a past life, in his obviously his most recent past life. And I stand by that as surely as I've been doing this work forever. And I've known that before I even saw a picture of Mussolini. And then I saw a picture of Mussolini and I was like, whoa! Looks just like him. Looks just like him. Just like him. So Italy. We're going to look at what's going to happen with Italy. So her name is Meloni. And she's all tied in with autocracy. She's tied in with Steve Bannon. It's bad. It's very dark. She's tied in with extremists, with the domestic terrorist groups. She's tied in with the evil. So we need to pray for Italy. Oh, Matt Gaetz has it. It's coming to him. Pray for the people in Italy. Oh, well, here you are. Oh, dear. No. This is Italy. So these are fascist leaders. The fascism is threatening to disrupt everything in Italy. It's a very tough time. They are vicious. They've had enough already. They are vicious. Let's use a pendulum. This calls for a pendulum. Is this Meloni going to win in Italy? That's right, I did. Okay, it's saying that she's not going to win. So this is interesting. Are you in Italy, Bernice? This is interesting. What a mess around their elections. When are the elections? Do you all know? Thumbs up, please. I think it helps me. I don't know how. It's true. I just hear other people with channels going, hit the thumbs up. It really helps me. I'm like, I don't know how it works, but I guess if it helps me, hit the thumbs up. Maybe you know how it helps me. I'm not sure. Comments help too. Oh, really? I'm so bad at marketing. Okay. Benjamin, you can be with us anytime. There's no time in the spiritual realm. It doesn't matter when you watch. But thanks for being here. Let's see. Tomorrow, Monday. What it looks like with the election in Italy is that it's going to be a mess. Oh, thank you for filling me in. Oh, that's good. I would like that. I would like my channel to be seen by more subscribers. I'd really like that. Okay, so will they have a clear winner? Would they have it by like Tuesday, Wednesday? Will they have a clear winner? They will not have a clear winner. That's the chaos that I'm seeing. And then she's going to try to steal it. All right. Thank you for filling me in on how the channel works. I should know these things. Okay. Is Italy going to experience a civil war? All right. I'm not here to scare anybody. It just looks tumultuous. Is it that she's going to lose and fight it? Seems to be going around, doesn't it? Is it that she's going to lose and fight it? That's what the pendulum's showing. So the fashion, the rule, oh yeah, it's showing really big. She's either going to lose or it's going to be very, very tight, and she's going to get vicious. I think we need to pull 3 more cards about that. And I swear, I'm going to shut it down in 2 hours. Oh, what's your channel? UK pulled out of the EU for a reason. I just got lost on that one. Okay. It's going to be rough going for Italy for a little while. I don't think it's years, but I before this thing rights itself. Because this is the karma card. The karma card's coming back. Fascists are mean. A little. They're a little mean. Okay, everyone go to Deanna Shields Maiden Tarot channel and hit the thumbs up. I think that's how it works. This is karma's gonna come back and bite this Maloney dudette in the you know what. After Italy's gonna have it's gonna be a tumult. It's like a big ferocious storm. But in the long run it will the waters will become more still. Oh, really? She's just learning how to use a computer? You're a little late to that game, right? Send more migrants from okay, let's do this. Let's read on the immigrants and the what the DeSantis Abbott gimmicks. Playing with people's lives. Really cute, right? And I just want you to know that recently I definitely am getting a sense that the justice system in this country is going to hit its stride. Oh, look at all those thumbs up. Thank you, guys. I forget, too, when I'm watching a video that if I like it and I want to support them, I do forget to hit the thumbs up. So I really appreciate that. Thanks. Sweden just had an election, right wing in power now. All right. Let's read on the immigrant situation. I'll have to save the other questions. We all want Trump to go away, but we learned from Trump how broken the system is, and we had to learn from Trump how broken the system is. I mean, as we don't learn our lessons, we have to learn them the hard way. We weren't participating in our democracy. You know, so we had to learn the hard way. There was a reason for him being here, and life isn't all peaches and cream all the time. Ron DeSantis and the immigrant situation. I know the Massachusetts female lawyers are going to burn him bad. I know that. I know that. Okay. You listen while you're changing the sheets? To Maiden Tarot? You have a psychic hangover? How do you think I feel? Were you being psychic during the meditation last night? That's funny. I mean, actually, I felt, honestly, after the meditation that we did for that entire time that Trump was talking last night, sending white light, when I got up this morning, first of all, I got up later than I usually do. Second of all, oh man, I felt like my energy was polluted. I had to let the water run over me. That it was we really did a lot of good energy work. Cleaning your shower, listen. Hey, at least you're getting your work done, right? 2 hours worth, almost. Yeah, so I had I didn't really have a psychic hangover because I wasn't really doing psychic work, but which is why I'm going to get off soon so I don't have a psychic hangover. It's a real thing. It's usually caused by dehydration. You forgot about the meeting? Well, we have the meetings every single week. No worries. This is DeSantis. It's a blessing in disguise in a way because it's going to make him accountable. He'll be held accountable. You know, they keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. The immigration system will be fixed. Now let's remember, it's the Republicans that never helps the Democrats to enact programs that work for immigrants, for asylum seekers. Oh yeah, I'm getting the sense that there's somebody going after DeSantis, a male who's not taking any crap. Oh yeah, DeSantis is in big trouble. I've always seen DeSantis get arrested. He is awful. And a long time ago I kept telling people, it's working, the meditation's working. A long time ago I kept telling people that I saw DeSantis being arrested and it was something illicit with money. That was months and months ago. So before I let you go for the evening, and I'll see you tomorrow at Church of Spirituality, I want to thank you for joining me. Don't leave yet because I'm going to do a community read. What am I reading your mind or you're reading my mind? I said it and then I saw it. I saw that you were asking for that. Oh yeah. The Texas. That makes sense because I'm seeing a man in law enforcement really going after DeSantis. I was thinking it was a lawyer, but it might be the Texas sheriff. It's probably both. No, the USA will not get in a war with Putin. I really think that Putin will be gone before that can happen. Okay. Before I lose my voice, I'm going to pull 3 cards. And this is for... I've been saying DeSantis would be arrested. Who was hot? Yeah, you know, the thing about the meditation with Trump's voice in the background, yeah, I had it right there, but we have to know where we're sending it, and that we have to have them on. We have to be aware. The community cards. The January 6th committee, the hearing is going to reveal a lot of things that have been held secret, a lot of things that they have been holding back until this hearing. I heard it said that this is going to be the last hearing. Just like at the end of the summer, I did a reading and I said this is not the last hearing. The one that they're saying is the last hearing this week, that's not the last hearing either. I see hearings into December. We're going to see Donald Trump have a huge loss somewhere. We're going to find out more about Letitia James, I think. But about the community, this is more about the news. We're going to hear a lot about this immigrant situation with DeSantis and Abbott. Where I just see a lot more information kind of piling in. Okay, so I'm going to pick 3 more cards that have more to do with, you know, just general advice for everybody going into the week, into the first week of fall. And the first week of the moon in Libra. I'm going to Salem tomorrow. I'll send you some video. Okay, this week there'll be, this is for the community. This is worrying about things that haven't happened. So everybody cut it out, okay? Don't be worrying about things that haven't happened. It's really, really important. When you think about the midterms, think about the Democrats, think about a blue wave. You know, we know they're going to fight it. We know they're going to try to take our votes away. But instead of worrying, direct your energy towards what you want. We're going to see a lot of people going through a lot of difficulty with the storms this week. But Joe Biden is going to shine. And we have to, you know, this week, keep your focus on what's working. Blue tsunami. Oh, your dad is still with you in spirit. Just, I hope you know that. Her dad passed away on the first day of fall, which was the 22nd. He's with you in spirit. I do mediumship in my readings, so, you know, you can always tune in. You want me to, I will send you a video from Salem. Maybe live. It depends. I'll be with my niece. I don't know if she'll want to come on. Maybe. She's my little witchy niece. Thank you guys. I had a blast. I felt like we were all having a big brouhaha psychic party. So it was totally fun. The Dems are winning. We're winning. The light is also winning. Yes. And Deanne Shield Maiden Tarot gets the same thing. All right. I'm sending you lots of love and light. Please join up with us for 20 on Tuesdays, our guided meditation. It's 20 minutes, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. To get a Zoom invite, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Type 20 in the subject line. If you'd like to book a reading, use the same email address, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. I'd love to have you. And grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com. Type AYE in the subject line. Church of Spirituality is every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. See you there. Lots of blessings. Namaste.